Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us today on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Femi Ojo is my name. I want to say thank you for staying with us all week. And this is the week ending edition of this program where we look at the headlines and then have frank conversations. It's good and it's right to say we enjoy your company. Thank you for making us a part of your morning routine. Evelyn, good morning.
Good morning, Femi. How are
Yeah,
you?
very well.
Good
How do you
morning,
do?
people. Thank you for joining us on Morning Spring this beautiful Friday morning. Who doesn't like cool, calm, beautiful Friday? Of course, we all do. My name is EVELYN OHIOLEL, welcoming you especially to this last installment of Morning Spring for the week.
Of course, talking about the last installment for the week, as far as the federal government and emoluments are concerned, it is the best, not the last, in the series of salary increase payment, the actualization, and, making good of their promise about the salary adjustment, the 70,000 minimum wage, by the way. And I think things are coming together now, and maybe the actualization of the payment is almost here. By the way, a few days ago, we learned of the increase in the in the allowance,
Mm.
not minimum wage now, of the 7 core members NYSC, 77,000 naira. It sounds like a good news. It is actually from 33, I think
Yeah,
33
that's
to
3,000.
77, more than 100%. I think it's a good time to sell, actually. Talking about the financial package of 77,000 naira. That's more than the minimum wage, actually.
Mm.
Uh, I
They
think
always get a little bit above the minimum wage. That has been
the practice, yeah.
yes, it has been, 30,000 naira, they were collecting 33,000
Yeah.
naira. Now 70,000 naira, they are collecting 77,000 naira. When you mentioned the fact that, oh, is it a good time to serve? But you never can, I do not really subscribe to that,
How so? Why?
knowing fully well that these core members also are in the same economy and they buy things, at higher price. While we were serving, the economy was not this bad and the money we collected at the time was enough for
How much
us.
did you collect? 98,
No, I collected 33,000. Yeah.
33.
Yeah.
Ah,
It wasn't
you guys are the
enough.
ballers.
It wasn't enough really. But then looking at the economy back then
Right.
and now,
Mm.
I think it's almost the same thing.
You think so? I don't
Yes.
think so. Yeah, the things are on the increase. The
How much
inflation,
was how much was a bag of rice at that time? How much is a bag of rice now?
I can
How much
recall
is a bag
that
of
one now.
beans? How much is a bag of
But
rice now?
no,
So it's
I understand. Don't let's do the economy this morning. But what I'm saying is, for somebody collecting 33,000 naira and all this, all of a sudden, they could have been collecting the 33,000 naira in the same economy, isn't
that
it?
that would be wickedness and cruelty on the part of the
Well, that's what they
government.
have been collecting for the past 1 year, isn't it? And they
I
didn't die,
know,
although
I
difficult. But
know.
now that they have 77,000 naira, at least they will
It's
cushion
better,
something.
but
I'm not
I
saying
don't think it's something
uhuru
to
or
celebrate
hooray,
actually.
really. But
Yeah.
then I think it will do some good for them as well, so to speak. But then the consequential salary adjustment is what many persons are talking about. I saw the consolidated salary thing for university lecturers yesterday. And, on the surface, it might look like, oh, something's there. But for a professor of 10 years, somebody who has been in academy and has been a professor for 10 years, they are still not collecting up to 1 million naira. And that is really, it's really disturbing, if I can say that, because you know what it takes you for you to do your BSc or BA or BEd or whatever you do,
Yeah.
or HND, and you have to be a scholar all through to have your additional
Your masters, your
degree,
doctorate
yeah,
degrees.
the masters, and then PhD, and then you have to wait for years for you to turn to a full-fledged professor. And 10 years after that, you are still not earning 1 million. I don't mean in salary. The total package is around 800 and something thousand naira. And if you break down one into dollars, maybe that is the take home of one casual worker somewhere in the UK or in the US. And these are the issues? Is it really, some of them will tell you it's not for the money, but then even if it's not for the money, body and soul needs to be, kept together. And somebody somewhere having the tag honorable at the back of his or her name is smiling to the bank, for resuming duty on a Tuesday and for ending it on a Friday and resuming the daily activity start by 11 a.m. You know what I'm talking about already. But then it is our reality. We'll go on this short break. When we return, we speak to what the papers are for us. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Stay with us. All right, let me start with the Punch newspaper. All right, I think it's right to start with where we just touched, a few minutes ago. 70,000 naira minimum wage. Federal government begins payment. Salaries rise to 4 trillion naira. That's from the Punch newspaper. Federal government begins payment and salaries rise to 4 trillion naira. And 1,000, the writer says 1,236,824 federal workers to earn 334.9 billion naira monthly. NLCTUC Lord Federal Government. All right. Okay. And just below that, a very, very harrowing experience and a very sad one, especially as it has to do with the loss of human lives as it concerns young people. 21 children killed in Kenyan school fire buried. You can see the casket, the pictures of the children, and of course at the sides, agonizing parents, and family members. That is one thing that no parent should ever experience, the loss of a child. In fact, loss either of a parent, of a loved one, of a neighbor, of a dog can really be painful. Talk less about losing a child in such circumstance.
Yeah.
It's bad. And nobody will enter this hall and you see glories and destinies covered up in that casket due to the inferno that befell that particular building. 21 children killed in Kenyan school fire buried. And they don't have to be Nigerians, by the way. Our thoughts and prayers are with them at this time. These are the situations that happen. And if you dare go, you summon the courage to go greet an affected person, you don't know what to say. You just get into the house and keep quiet.
Yeah.
Because nobody has the right words at this time. The grief can be that bad. You don't know what to say. And you sound
Well,
insensitive,
sometimes your
actually.
presence speaks a lot. You
Yeah,
don't have to say
that's
anything.
why.
That silence
Because the
and the
person that
fact
wants to
that
come doesn't know
you
what
are
to say.
there with them,
Just there,
sympathizing
and they
is
come.
enough.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's a sad one, by the way, with the whole of Kenya as a country. All right, and away from that, Bobrisky. Reps commence probe. Prison controllers suspended. All right, we saw release from Bumitunji Ojo, who is really taking this personal, and he has been issuing statements, even on his personal page. He even gave a name to some of those officials. And many persons will say, we hope it doesn't stop with the junior officers, so that they are not just thrown into under the bus for somebody to, for them to take the fall. Let the whole thing be done properly. Away from that, Quara hails death sentence for 5 of bank robbers. Oh, finally. I don't know if you remember that terrible case years ago, that it was a killing spree for those criminals. They killed as many as they can, at the bank. They went to a police station, killed, and,
I think that was the year 2018,
yeah,
if
it
I'm
was
not
like
mistaken,
6,
because
7 years ago. Yeah.
I was in I was not in I was in Kwara State
Okay.
during that period, and I remember when we, just came into Kwara, people were talking about it,
Yeah.
and I remember my mom putting a call across to me, asking, "Where are you? Where are you? We heard something is happening in Kwara." I can't
It
forget
was a
that today.
terrible
Yeah.
day, and the video was even all over the place. It was like a killing spree, not even like a robbery. It was a killing spree, and it took how many years now? 6 years, for And that's what we talk about, the wheel of justice, you know. But then, Kwara State, they are hailing the death sentence for 5 offer bank robbers. And Afenifere demands restructuring as Senate OK's Southwest Development Commission. Interesting. You know, I saw a post yesterday by Benjamin Kalu where he was, it wasn't a yesterday post, but I saw it, I think on his official page, thanking the president, you know, for assenting to the bill of the Southeast Development Commission. Now, Southwest has a development commission. Okay, and somebody will say the regionalism or the structuring we are talking about, is it not the same thing? But then it is what it is. Why my admin suspended Sanusi? Oh, better still, why my administration suspended Sanusi? That's from Kilo Jonathan. And oil companies owe government over $6 billion. That's from Nati. And federal government probing bandit sponsors, defense headquarters. Okay, you know, whenever I hear news like this, it's good that people in charge, you know, they are giving us information. But if the information will be preemptive, I'm not sure actually we need that. If we are probing them, please go ahead and do that. When you are through with information, tell us. This one you are telling us you are probing them, and some of them will hear this information and destroy evidence or run away. These are some of the issues. But then maybe they know what they are doing. And lastly, Oshiomhole congratulates Okpebolo once Obaseki probed. Okay, it is what it is. That will be all from the Punch newspaper.
And we head on to Delhi Independent newspaper this morning. On Delhi Independent newspaper, TINUBU correcting missteps of past repositioning Nigeria. This is credited to the federal government with some riders here. 6 Nigerians understanding over economic hardship. Says hardship occasioned by unavoidable policy choices. Insists president focused on putting more money in citizens' pockets, and people would ask, is that really entirely, completely, totally true that the president is focused on putting more money in citizens' pockets or buying, more things for the office of the president and also for people the arms of affairs? Tinubu's administration inherited 2,600 road projects worth 13 trillion naira. But the president or the presidency is appealing to Nigerians to be patient, to endure more, to see the
How many
bigger
projects?
picture.
2,000?
2,600 road projects, and
Okay.
it's worth 13
That's coming from
trillion
who?
naira. No, the federal government is saying that the administration of Tinubu, that's what it inherited from the past administration.
Okay. I just want to be sure that's not coming like a complaint, because also he also inherited money to buy planes and Cadillac as well. So you get the asset and the liability as well.
All right, and moving on, Nigeria did not lose $49.8 billion under my watch. Goodluck Jonathan is speaking. Says he didn't sack Sanusi as CBN governor. You can get to page 7 to read more details of that story for yourself. And northern leaders seek solution to insecurity, poverty, disunity in a region. Still on page 7. Away from that, oil gas sector owes federal government $6 billion, 66 billion naira. Fresh NATO report reveals 85% of defunct Heritage Bank depositors paid via BVN. This is credited to NDIC. And at Doguba, INEC presents certificates of return to Okpebolo, deputy. And the writer here says Tinubu tasks governor-elect on development, pledges federal support. And of course, I saw the clip where the governor-elect of Edo State, Senator Mande Okpebolo, alongside with some other politicians, big guys in Edo State, going to pay, will I say, homage? Or visits to the Mr. President to say thank you. Paying homage is more like I'm talking about a king. But if you actually watched that video and you saw how the governor-elect went down on his knees to greet Mr. President, then probably homage is the right word.
All of them did. All of them, except Adam Oshiomhole. He was the only one who bent. All of them, including Shaibu, including the deputy governor-elect. And by the way, some would say he didn't ask them too. But if I were to be in the two of the Mr. President. It wasn't their fault. I wouldn't allow them to do that. The moment the first person goes down, try and lift there and tell them he's okay. But then you know what politics does to us, actually. And that wouldn't be the first that we are seeing.
Exactly. But okay, Senate moves away from that. Federal government suspends prison officers over alleged bribery by Bobrisky. Like Femi said earlier, Minister TINUBU is not taking this lightly, and he has said that heads must roll. Deputy controllers of different correctional centers, especially that of Lagos and Kirikiri, have been suspended to give room for thorough investigation. And it says that they will not let the case down until they have seen to the end of this particular case. Senate moves to increase governance costs with new security outfit. Why? Is it necessary that we have new security outfits? What will this outfit be known for? I mean, we have so many security agencies already, so why are we adding another one to it? Top corner. Reps ask federal government to allow marketers lift PMS directly from Dangote, and court sentences 5 to death over 2018 offer bank robbery. These are headlines on the front page of the Daily Independent newspaper this morning, and it's one that you would like to read. But that will be all from Daily Independent.
All right, from there we move to the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun newspapers fears. Okay, let's leave the Daily Sun and go to the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper. All right, the Vanguard. Alleged missing $49.8 billion. Why Sanusi had to go as CBN governor. Some will say he's like raising the rabble again. That's coming from Jonathan. But then there is no time. That's too late to set the record straight. And of course, you expect that there will be reactions to these. But now we have a lot of writers to that story. Says allegation against his government cooked up. Another one says notes audit report commissioned to probe allegation cleared his government. Insist he didn't cut away any amount of money from government coffers. You constructively dismissed me as CBN governor. Sanusi replies, Jonathan, whatever that means. You constructively dismissed me as CBN governor. Sanusi replies, of course, you expect that there will be a reaction to that, especially with the personality of His Eminence, the Emir of Kano. Now, Arts, I don't have any grudge against you. That's from the King, from a CBN governor as well. And just below that, you have TINUBU receives OHIOLEL and Idahosa. From left, Edo State Deputy Governor-elect Dennis Idahosa, the President, Bola TINUBU, the Governor-elect of Edo State, Monday OHIOLEL, and the two jointly, after the two jointly presented their certificates of return to the President at the Presidential Villa in Abuja yesterday. I want to imagine, although that's more like a delulu, the way they say it now, like the people of state of New York, state of Wisconsin, Massachusetts will vote for their governors. And I can imagine the governor of Massachusetts or New York or Michigan will now take their certificate of elect and go and meet the president to say, this is it. Even if they are of the same party, but then there's these things that you called it homage, right? Okay. Some will say is support, some will say is gratitude, some will say is rub my hand and rub yours. I wonder.
But you know that the kind of politics we play here is different from what they play over
we claim
there,
the
because
same kind of democracy.
the president is actually seen, or he is the leader of the party.
Yeah.
So it's like they are, just look at it as they are going to pay homage to the leader of the party, not Mr. President.
I think other leaders too. If a governor is elected, sometimes, especially some of these offices in cycle elections, they go to the president as more like we are here, But we claim the same kind of democracy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially from the US. And now, interesting one there. But this is us. and we are just doing our thing in parentheses now. Elumelu and Queen of Netherlands are the United Nations General Assembly. Queen Maxima of the Netherlands and group chairman of the UBA and founder Tunu Elumelu Foundation, Tunu Elumelu himself, at the UBA American cocktail reception held on the sidelines of the ongoing Hunger 79 in New York, United States on Wednesday. And floored how 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months. That's a very saddening. That's very saddening, rather. 141 human lives are lost, and you can guess most of the lives that were lost, or some of these incidents or incidences are preventable. That is one thing. And who will be held responsible? Mother Nature, and the ones we call it's just life. All right, and Bobrisky. How can one be imagining that this name will be resonating on a regular and not just for social media vibes, but something deeper, more? Federal government suspends prison officers and Christian elders to federal government reverse fuel price hike to avert looming crisis. All right, and beside that, the sporting scene, EVELYN continues as Super Eagles head coach against Libya. NFF is like the duty to the former right defensive defender, that's Austin Eguavoen, who is now the coach. The appointment is by per match. He has not been confirmed, as a substantive coach, and he has been there before, but now he's back. That's what they say. And away from that, Mr. and Mrs. Corner, I know prices of commodities have skyrocketed, but why don't you look for places where prices are reasonable? That can only come from Mr. or any Mr., by the way, or every Mr. And the Mrs. Replies, which means meals in this house will become reasonable. You want a reasonable price, then the meal itself will be reasonable. You can see the Mr. without bracket, as they say it, putting his hands in the pocket, and the Mrs. making her point. And quickly, why some heritage band depositors are yet to be refunded? I hope somebody in this building is listening to that. NDIC boss. And Edopol, I'll be servant of all, ready to work with opposition. Or Pebble, I remember the servant leader, Babangida Aliyu of Niger State. Politicians will say many things, but even all the best to you people.
I hope it's actually servants to the people, not of all. Or all is including political leaders and
servant of all, ready to work with opposition.
Please be the servant of the people. Leave out the all.
The all, right?
Leave out the all.
Okay. Okpebolo receives certificate of return, and these day publisher to military stop arresting protesters, go after kidnappers, and gagging media will stagnate democracy. Governor Oyebanji, that's governor of Ekiti State, and Nigeria 64 on Tuesday. This nation will be 64, right? Wow.
See, Femi, the excitement is not there.
Yeah,
we had Elder Farumbi, Ashwaju Yemi Farumbi earlier on in the week on the show, and he made mention of the fact that when Nigeria got her independence, there was excitement. A lot of people were projecting into the future as to how Nigeria will become one of the world powers that would have. But after so many years, after over 6 decades, we still haven't been able to get our foot. We still haven't been able to walk. As it is, Nigeria is actually crawling, and right now we are supposed to be walking already. And he made mention of the fact that I don't think he was pointing towards that I don't think we have witnessed any good days like they did. But
as a citizen,
I stand to say that even while I was growing up, I can say that to some extent we get excited when it's Independence Day. Kids were excited
because nothing. At that time.
Not even that. There was still this excitement in the air. People still believed in the project called Nigeria. Compare that time to now.
Right.
Some kids don't even know what Nigeria is all about. They don't
Okay.
even know that October 1 is Independence Day.
They will
They just
understand.
think it's a
They
public
know it
holiday.
via their rhymes, by the way.
Public holiday
Yeah,
for
all right.
them.
Nigeria 64, SGF ministers defend TINUBU's policies amid cabinet reshuffle aids. Of course, that's expected. That will be all from the Vanguard.
And of course, that will be all from the papers this morning.
Right.
We appreciate you for, doing this with us. This is the time where we step aside to take a breather. And when we return, we'll be speaking to more pressing issues as concerning this country, Nigeria. Do not go anywhere. Morning Spring. We'll be right back.